You are listening to Limitless Journeys, the African Immigrant Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin P. Henry. We have another exciting episode for you, featuring the exciting and innovative and meaningful programs of Wakulima. We're also going to talk about the Elevate program right here on Limitless Journeys, the African Immigrant Podcast. For more information, go to wakulimausa.org. We're going to start the show with our guests introducing themselves.
Maura Kizito, that is Maura. Kizito is Kizito, and I am the Development Director at Wakulima.
My name is Bernard Nyakiba, BERNARDNYAKIB. I am the Elevate Program Supervisor.
My name is Venessa Runo, VENESSA, last name RUNO. I am the Executive Director at Wakulima USA.
My name is Ruby Valla, RUBYVALLA, and I am the Communications and Fundraising Strategist for Wakulima.
So for the Elevate program, in my opinion, I think first of all is a very, very wonderful engagement that Wakulima is partnering with Elevate Health, because the purpose of this program is to coordinate care within our community members. So when we talk about care, what they thought behind this program is that there are so many challenges that our community members are facing, but behind those challenges, we find that there are root causes for those things. For example, you find that somebody is sick and then they're not able to go to the hospital, and the reason being they don't have transportation. So the Elevate programs comes in whereby as a Wakulima, we try to support our community members by coordinating care in all aspects. We try and find resources for them in terms of housing, transportation, education, primary care, dental, all that. Because at the end of the day, what Elevate envision is to ensure that community members are healthy. And for them to live healthy, we need first to address these small things that are hindering them from getting or becoming healthy. So, for example, we find that we work with so many clients in our community, and you find that maybe the client has diabetes. They're supposed to see the doctor maybe on a weekly basis, but because they do not have transportation, they're not able to go to the appointment, and then that hinders their well-being. So instead of them healing, they end up becoming sick. And then another thing, you find that apart from maybe the transportation, they may lack food, because we also need to look at the nutrition aspect. So our main job with the the community-based workers that we work with is to try and find these community members in the communities through outreach, and then try to identify the challenges that they are facing. So it is a process that we take them through. Initially, when we engage them, we ask them to give us consent so that we work with them. So they need to sign the consent and ROI form. And then once they do that, we have milestones that we need to accomplish with them. So we do an intake with them, and then we assess their well-being, and then we indicate, because we have a portal or a platform whereby we can be able to do that, so that we can be tracking the progress of these patients or clients that we're working with. Then once we do the well-being assessment, so that we can see at what level are they, and then what do they want, where do we want them to reach in terms of their goals. And then together with them, we set up goals that they need to achieve. For example, if somebody has a problem with smoking, they want to quit smoking. So we set up a goal within a certain period of time. Maybe we need to hook them up with a mental health therapist to try and assist them, because we know some of these things they cannot just stop at once. You cannot tell them, hey, you need to stop smoking today. No, it is a process. So we walk with them through the process. We help them, we support them, because at the end of the day, we're just offering support to them, because we cannot tell them what to do, because they know they are the masters of their own challenges. So we just offer support to them so that they can be able to achieve their goals. And then if at the end of the milestones, the patient or the client feels that maybe they've been successful, we've worked with them, they've achieved their milestones, we can discharge them. Or as community-based workers, if we feel that what we've offered, we've assisted them to achieve their goals, we can also recommend to discharge them. And then, so the whole process just keeps rolling like that. So we have clients like over 20 clients that we are currently working with. So we've divided among the community-based workers, and then we try to assist them by coordinating care. That's basically what we do with the Elevate program. Maybe Maura, if there's something that I missed.
No, I think, Kevin, that's pretty it. Just to add on to that, it's more of awareness of resources within our communities. So what that would look like is just telling the community, if you need mental health support, we have somebody who can support you. If you need food access. So it's creating awareness within our community and making the impact. After we, for example, give you food, then what do you have any other you would like? For example, it could be childcare. It could look like housing. So we are like a resource hub in partnership with Elevate, I would say.
Oh, it's great. It's a great program, and it's so important for people to know what resources are out there. And talking to a lot of nonprofits and agencies, one of the biggest challenges sometimes, I mean, sometimes there's the challenge of developing the program or the resource, but then once it's developed, it's getting the word out. And
Right.
it's so sad to see sometimes when people say, "Oh, I wish I had known, I could go to this clinic or I could go here or I could go there." But I wanted to ask you for people who are immigrants or people coming to this country, like people you work with, is it like an easy transition, or what are some of the challenges, I guess, that people face when they go from Kenya or they go from someplace in Africa, for instance, and then all of a sudden now they're living in Washington State?
There is a lot of challenges. There could be, there is the language barrier, for example, for the elderly who don't speak English. That's number one. For example, there could be food access. It's also a barrier because the food here, not everybody wants to eat Walmart food or, grocery, Safeway, whatever. Some people want to eat the food that they used to. The other challenge that we are facing is growing up in Africa, it's more of we are more enclosed. We don't talk issues. We don't think of mental health like it's a real issue. There's a lot of stigma against that. So for all these little challenges that people are having, what Wakulima is trying to do is to build trust with the community members. Hey, we are here to help you. If you have mental health support, mental health issues, you can see a therapist that, for example, looks like you, talks like you, understands your cultural background. And with that being said, it creates that trust with the individual and with the community and Wakulima. So part of those things are what we are trying to be like grassroots leaders and try and educate our community with that. And also there is challenges for some people came here and they don't have the right paperwork, for example. So I would be scared to go to the hospital. So all these different barriers and challenges. What if I go to the hospital and I don't know how to speak in English and I'm having pain in my legs? Then do I get an interpreter that can interpret in Swahili to the physician or whatever the case could look like? So those little challenges have been the barriers. And also there's the issue of financial health, for example. If you're trying to acquire a house, all these steps, you need a credit score, you need almost 50,000 saved, all these little things that, they are barriers for us. While in Africa, it's like, I like this house, tomorrow I come, I give the caretaker some $200 and I'm in. I don't have to go and be like, oh, they gotta read my credit score, all these things. So those trying to see them as not challenges, but just working around the system and trying to help the community in achieving whatever they want. There is the issue, like I said, some people don't have paperwork. We've had deportation. and also Elevate, just to add on what Elevate is doing, they are having a program that is for incarcerated people, which I think it's an excellent program. The reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of people who are incarcerated, it doesn't mean all of them are bad people. I was watching a documentary, actually not a documentary, I think somebody was telling me this, about how I don't remember which country it was, but they take the people who are incarcerated and then they go and train them how to do massages, how to do like self-care work, and they bring it back to the community. So there's literally a business that is for that. All the people who are there, they were locked up before, but that does not mean they cannot survive outside after lockup. So bringing them and teaching them these skills, like you guys can do furniture work, you can do clothing, you can, all these different aspects is what I call making an impact within the community.
Well, I think it's challenging, even if you, like me, were born in this country and have lived in this country all their lives, to get through some of the medical, paperwork and just getting a driver's license. I mean, there's so much work involved, and it can be very confusing. And then you have, like you said, the language issue, and then you've got a lot of having to deal with things online. I mean, nowadays it's like sometimes I just wish I could just go and just hand somebody some money and say, look, here's my money, give me the product. But no, oh no, we can't do it that way. You've got to go to our website and go online, and you have to have all these computer skills. And then they keep changing the platforms. It's just like, I remember, like, we're talking on Zoom. Well, I remember when we started off 20 years ago with GoToMeeting, and then it was like, oh, we don't do that anymore. Now we go to Zoom. Well, what's Zoom? Okay, so I learned Zoom. Oh, we don't do Zoom anymore. Now we go to Teams. Now we go to Google Meets. Now we do this. And at half the time, you can't even talk to a real person when you're trying to get an answer, because you've got to, you get on the phone. Oh, you get transferred. Press 1 if you want this, 2 if you want that, 3 and if you've got a language challenge, then that could be, very, very frustrating. I wanted to ask Venessa, did you want to add anything to what's the basketball?
Yeah, I would I can say maybe one thing.
Go ahead.
I'm very proud of this program that we have joined with Elevate Health. It has just opened up the opportunity for our community members to receive these necessary resources that you can't find on a daily basis. So I feel like us being the bridge for that has truly changed what we do, honestly, and opening it up as well to create more people to come in and join Wakulima like Bernard, and to just do wonderful things in the community. So it's definitely been a positive impact thus far. And I'm very, very happy about it.
Excellent. I did. Now, Ruby, did you want to add anything to this? Bernard and Maura really went into some detail about just talking to the people they work with about resources, or a group of people or individuals who are new to a country and maybe don't know where to go. So any type of comments that or observations maybe that you've even made in your work?
Yeah, definitely. I'm also not an immigrant, and so it's interesting, like, coming at this from a perspective that I don't really, understand what a lot of the people that we serve have been through. But that being said, I'm the only person on our team that hasn't immigrated from Kenya. So it's really amazing that this nonprofit is really like for and by the people, is also sometimes uncommon in the nonprofit space. So I think it's really important. And I know that means a lot to the people we serve. And I just really love how Wakulima has a very holistic view of helping people, because we do the Elevate program, but we also do our farming program. And a big thing that we're passionate about is like showing how the health of the land and the health of the person are connected, and bringing people out to the farm for their mental health. Or there's so many farmers that we work with that, like, that's their livelihood and this is how they're happy, and like, you know what I mean, a lot of them work 2-3 jobs and have kids, and like, it's really amazing to see how, despite all of these things that they're doing, they still want to go out there and have this connection to the land, because it just brings them so much joy, and it brings them a community of people. even earlier today, I was on the farm and I was talking to a guy who's from Sudan, and he was like, yeah, I was pulled out of school when I was 14, by like militants to join the army, and now I have 4 kids and 2 of them are in college. And so it's just really amazing to see. I mean, it's easy and but it really is like people like that I'm like, you really have worked to live some version of the American dream, you know? And that's, I think we really want to support people that are working hard to have a better life here and give a better life to their children.
Yeah, that's so important to again look at options because I mean you were talking about mental health and we've been talking about that. I mean, in our society, there's a tendency sometimes to just want to give people medication. You know, it's like, oh, you're depressed, you're anxious, you know, take this pill, get on antidepressants. I mean, some people, will spend, and I'm not saying these aren't valid things for certain people, but to be able to have that option of like, okay, I don't necessarily have to get on 3 or 4 different psych medications, but maybe what I need is to go and connect with other people or with the land, and with the water and things like that as a way to help me, calm down or get grounded or whatever. So it's just nice to have that option. Now, the question of the day, of course, that Maura came up with is what brings you joy? So maybe you want to start with Bernard. What brings you joy, Bernard?
I'd say so many things brings joy, but
Name a few.
one thing that stands out for me is when I positively impact people's life. That brings joy to me because I'm saying this because I'm a trained teacher by profession. So in my teaching career, I used to find joy, especially because in Kenya, students do national exams. So I used to find joy when students do exams. So have gone through me, they do exams, they do well, and then they succeed in life, they do good careers. That one is satisfaction for me. At the moment, I'd say what we do in the Elevate program with Wakulima, once I see maybe a candidate goes through the milestones and then we're able to assist them and then they're able to, we can call it graduation. They're able to graduate by achieving their goals. That one also brings joy to me. And then also when I work with the kids, because I work with the U10 kids, so we are trying to give them the basics. So once I see they make steps, they improve here and there, I'm very happy when I see such things.
Great. Well, thank you. How about you, Maura? What brings you joy?
So joy for me, it's a lot of things that bring me joy. I try to live a very positive life. I try to, the number one thing that really brings me joy is traveling. I love to travel. I'm always somewhere doing something. Traveling helps me enjoy my life and helps me create experiences and create memories that really, really brings a lot of joy to me. The other thing that brings me most of the joy is just, having podcasts, having these conversations, talking to each other, experiencing life through other people's stories and just learning from them and understanding we are all different and we all come from different backgrounds, but we are still under the same universe. So I really do like that. I'm also very, very adventurous. Like I said, I like to do skydiving. I like to do zip lining. All those kind of stuff really, really builds the type of person I am. Creating an impact in the community is also a big goal of mine. And it will bring me so much joy when I open a healing center where we don't have to use traditional methods of you have to it's a therapy or whatever. No, people can come and just hang out. People can come and, do some yoga poses, do some Pilates, do some natural stuff and just heal, eat organic foods and all those good stuff. So just having, living intentionally, having mentors that support me and my journey in life really, really brings me joy. And also a community that is able to impact me positively, support me positively, and take me to the next level of my journey. So that really, really brings me a lot of joy. And dancing, I can go on and on. Let me just stop.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I think the traveling thing I can definitely relate to because I think that depending on your depending on your lived experience, sometimes, I've known people that have done like no traveling. And then I think the thing about traveling, I think, is that it widens your lens, your perspective, when you're able to see how other people live. And it sometimes it allows you to then reevaluate your own life and think about, oh, in this country I visited, family is very important, or getting in touch with nature is important. And I never thought of that because I don't think it's hard to change and grow sometimes if you have nothing to influence your growth. If you don't know anything, you don't know what you don't know. Go ahead,
And
Maura.
I think also like just learning the different cultures in different countries, it's culture, it's food, it's the people. So the people you'll find in America probably are not the same people you'll find in Spain, and also the culture probably, and just trying to see those different, how people try to think and the different systems they are on. I think that's really, really like interesting to me.
That's great. How about you, Vanessa? What brings you joy? Going to Hawaii, apparently, based on your backdrop.
Yes, going to the beach, white sand, heat, of course, that brings me joy. Actually due for a vacation like that. Main thing for me is helping others, and most importantly is helping children. My passion has always been about kids. I'm a pediatric nurse, so I just want to, on my outside of Wakulima. I just want to save all of the children in the world. That has always been my prayer and my dream. I believe that they deserve a chance to live this beautiful life. They deserve a chance to live a happy life at that, without any sickness, any sadness. And I want to be in a position where I can leave that impact. So having a job like the one I do helps me do that, helps me have that healing touch that I can say, oh, I've had a way that I've helped them, go home or extend their life or whatever the case may be. So going home, it feels very rewarding, and it feels like I was meant to be on this, my purpose in my life. And
Mhm.
also raising my daughter just confirms that. Like she's just wonderful. She's the happiest baby ever. And it just makes me as a mom so proud and so joyous. Another thing that brings me joy is food. Eating is my favorite thing to do. I love all different kinds of food. I want to try and experience different cultural food. I want to see the world and try their food. I think food just brings people together and it brings that happiness within us. So definitely indulging in all of those things can bring me joy in one way or another. And plus, we need food to survive, and you get mad when you're not hungry, right? Have hunger pains. So food does it. Food heals it all. One more thing is just serving the community that we do, honestly. Being in this position has taught me a lot about giving back and making an impact, and just knowing that you can do more for those in need. Even if they're not in need, you can at least put something in their mind, and just knowing that you can have a space or a platform to show them what they didn't know before, especially for our community members in this world that we're in today, this political climate, excuse me. It just brings some sort of reassurance to them that they have a safe space if needed, and resources as well that we can provide for anything. So that brings me joy as well. It's working for Wakulima.
All right. And
Yeah.
last but not least, Ruby Valla.
So many things bring me joy. I love spending time outside, and like getting to farm, getting to garden, getting to hike, camp, really anything outside, because I think our world can be so isolating, especially with technology and just the world we're living in. And it's so important for me to like remember that we're all connected and that we live on a land where we're, connected to all the living things that are here. and spending time with my community. I think those are the two things that bring me the most joy. I really value community being at the center of my life, and I don't even feel like it's a choice for me. Like, I feel like that's how I have to live to be happy, and it is like something that I need, and it feels really like amazing to have that in my life. So, yeah.
Very good.
You have been listening to another episode of Limitless Journeys, the African Immigrant Podcast, brought to you by Wakulima USA. For more information, go to the website at wakulimausa.org.
I'm your host, Kevin P. Henry.